I don't want to get into it.
And ain't nobody gonna stop me.
Front yard both times.
Fucking bath towel boy over here.
I don't know where we're going for this. We'll keep.
All right.
But we're live.
All right. Well, here we go. All right, people. We got Timbo in the house. We got bNasty. We got Pistol, P, Chief. Oh, there he is. Yeah, we're just spitballing here. We're talking about, we're kind of talking a little bit about people that are getting a little too offended, maybe. Just seeing where it goes.
I think that's a good way to preface it. Getting offended. What do you think, Pete? Do you think people are just offended these days about, I don't know, people want to cancel because, let's throw a little background in for you, Pete, about Chappelle Show. Funny.
Mm-hmm.
People had a sense of humor, didn't get super offended. You could say stuff. People laughed. Nobody wanted to cancel. And then along came an angry mob who wanted to cancel people and would dig through your Twitter posts and dig through every piece of social media because they had no hobbies.
So here's what's funny about that is, like, if you think about the premise of Chappelle's Show, he was all about joking about his own particular, I mean, it was sketch comedy, but a lot of it was joking on himself, which is, comedy 101. A lot of it you just, reflect back to yourself.
Yeah. So it makes a good comic.
Yeah. I mean, that's the first thing. If you can joke about yourself, then you're good. In this day and age, if Chappelle's Show had just launched and just started, there would be so much backlash, and it would be probably not even picked up from, Comedy Central or whoever he presented his, idea to.
Yeah.
That someone is iconic and is now viewed as like one of the best comedians, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. He's like Richard Pryor.
Exist. Yeah. I mean, you talk to, you see all the clips online about, all the comics and everyone, and they view Dave Chappelle as, like one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT. And they talk about him that way. But he wouldn't even exist if he just, let's say tomorrow or even a year ago or even 5 years ago. That's what's sad. If he decided to launch that same idea and go with it, it wouldn't be the same.
Yes.
And
Chappelle Show, breaking news, Chappelle Show canceled episode 2.
Yeah, seriously.
Episode 1.
Episode 1 aired yesterday, canceled.
That wouldn't have even aired.
Oh, pilot down, another crash. Like, that's what's sad, is because he only did 2 seasons, and then he did another one like way later on. So even in that time,
it didn't even get finished
seasons.
though. He bailed out.
Yeah,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you do 2, and the second season. First season was pretty damn good, but the second season, I remember having that on DVD and just laughing my ass off on something that wasn't related to me at all. I didn't have any racial ties to any of the comedy that he had, but I found it hilarious. And it was because it was a time that we could joke about that type of stuff. And you see people these days that are just, they take that and use that as like ammo. Well, this is why this is. And I mean, I'm willing to hear you out to a point, but at the same time, a lot of those people are a much younger generation growing up in a different time. It's when you see the people that are our age, 30 plus and older, that decide to take that offensively. And it's like, where were you during this whole time? Were you this mad the entire time? Were you standing for something? Like, what's your story? Like, how were we viewing the world so differently when we were all unconnected, and now that we're all connected, you find a group and you just run with it. So you need your acceptance because you weren't involved in something growing up, and now you found a place. Did you feel this way this whole time? Like, how did it go from such a divided or such a united place. Like everyone found something mutually funny. Something happened, it was funny. And now, funny is like this group finds it funny. This group finds it funny. This group finds it absolutely atrocious. And I'm going to have to argue it. And I need everyone to back me up. And I'm going to take down this particular person. So, like, imagine trying to be a comedian right now. You would have to tiptoe like a motherfucker. And it's the people that don't tiptoe that I think are the funniest.
Yeah, that's why I appreciate Andrew Schultz a lot. Like when I see on his TikTok or his YouTube, whatever. I mean, some of his stuff isn't like over hilarious, but dude, some of his shit's solid, and I mainly enjoy it because he's not afraid to just say whatever. Really, you know, he'll poke fun at everyone. Exactly, it's real. And on that note, like, I love it when, you know, when people poke fun at everyone. You know, it doesn't matter, like, your race, you know, your background, where you grew up, anything. Like, you know, if it pertains to you or not, like, it's just funny stuff, because whether it's a stereotype or, you know, it's something real, or, you know, it's twisted in a funny way, like, if you get offended, first of all, get over it. You're not that important, first of all. And second of all, you know, why not just have a sense of humor? Why get so upset and have it ruin your day? Imagine if you're part of this stupid angry mob cancel culture. Those of you out there, if you're listening, keep her fucking tuned, all right? Imagine if everyone picked out everything out of your life and was like, oh, I don't like this about you. We're going to cancel you. And you're like, oh, well, you don't accept me? It's the same thing. You don't accept that these are just jokes and people have a sense of humor and they don't mean everything they say. Do you know how many comedy sketches or how many stand-up comedies that have to open their show by saying, hey, this is a comedy show. These are just jokes. I don't know if you guys have heard, but I've heard it by plenty of them. We're just like, these are just jokes, and you know, and they'll tell a joke, and they'll be like, see, that was a joke. Don't get offended. Like, it's bad that we're at a point in time where we have to preface our jokes by saying, this is a joke. When you're at a comedy show, knowing that all you're probably going to hear is jokes. And if you're offended, go the fuck home, go to church, fucking go back to your mom's basement. Go back to your fucking little forum where everyone fucking will support you and tell you how cool you are. But in the real world, everyone, you gotta have a little thick skin. You gotta know how to laugh. You gotta just enjoy your life. Because if you take shit too serious, you know, then you're fucking miserable. All right, it's not a dick. Don't take it so hard. All right, Timbo, you're up.
Yeah, why can't we just tell the truth in a fucking hilarious way? That's the funniest comedy, man, where they're just spitting facts and in the funniest way possible, and just pointing out all the stupid ass flaws of stupid shit that somebody does. Who cares if it's whatever race that does it? It's funny. We all can appreciate that. I don't see the point we get offended by it. It's just a joke.
See, that's, I mean, I don't want to get too like philosophical or anything or religious, but like, I'm pretty sure that we were made, if you believe we were made, you know, whether or not you believe that or not, we all have a sense of humor. Whether you think, you know, fart jokes are funny, or, you know, you think like dad jokes are funny, or stupid humor, or dark humor. We all have a sense of humor. It's ingrained in us. And so to try to cancel out jokes, to try to say what jokes are good or bad, or try to dictate what people can define as jokes or what people can say as jokes, I think is super fucked up. Like, where's the line?
Well, that's what's so annoying is that it becomes, let's say I tell the same joke. You find it hilarious. Timbo was like, that was one of the dumbest jokes I've ever heard.
Oh.
And then I got fucking enraged in Timbo because he didn't understand the joke. And I wanted to shun him for not understanding the joke. And then I'm just like, oh, all the people like Timbo who don't find this joke funny, you guys are just terrible. You're stupid and you don't understand humor. It's like there's definitely a loose term for humor because there's shit TikToks, whatever, that I show my wife. She doesn't find that funny. But I made it a point to be like, oh, I gotta save this or I gotta remember this so that I can show her because I think it's hilarious. And she doesn't understand it. Vice versa. Like I'm just like, oh, pretty fucking funny TikTok. Not. Then I show her and she's like, oh, pretty fucking funny TikTok, not. Like I mean,
but we all have different senses of humor.
Yeah, way different. And that's where I think everything just got separated because then it's like, well, I didn't find that funny. Let's pick this apart.
Just don't watch it.
Yeah, just
don't listen to it.
Don't listen to it. Like that's what wasn't an option back before all of the technological advances. Like now we can watch it, replay it, repeat it, and dissect it.
Yeah, clip it.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing back then. You tell a dumb joke and all of a sudden be like, oh, stupid joke. And now it's like, oh, well, actually, come to think of it, that joke really offends me after the third time I've listened to it. And it's just dumb because maybe it's like, I don't know. You didn't fit in? Is that something? And now you just want to join a movement or join...
Yeah, you want to be a part of something? So you just join this movement that you're like, oh, I can agree with that. I'd be on board with that. And what just sucks to me is like people, they have their own sense of humor. Maybe it's stupid. Maybe they get a kick out of, oh, we're going to cancel this. Ha 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 ha. Hee hee hoo. Yeah, you might think that's fucking funny, but guess what? All you're being is hypocritical and being like, well, you can't tell me what I can or can't do, and I can judge who gets taken down and who doesn't, and what do I... You don't have that much power. You just think you do.
See, back in the day when, before all this shit, you found those people who thought shit was funny, and you thought it was funny too, and they became your friends. And you hung out with them.
Yeah.
And you did things with them. You didn't join their fucking comment section and be like, oh yeah, this is what it is. And maybe that's just the way of life now. But I'm sounding so fucking old going back in the day sayings. But
back to my
even if you don't go back in the day, right? Even if you look at now and look how accepting everyone wants to be, and you have to do this and do that and bend over backwards. Well, I don't understand like where the line is. Like, it's a comedy now and you can't accept people for having their own sense of humor, but you have to accept everyone for choosing their own gender and choosing their own binary and pronouns, and you have to be accepting of all these different things, but yet you can't accept people telling jokes nowadays. Like, where is the line? Why is that so off? And like, why is that acceptable to tear down, but not the other way around?
Well, it's weird if you think about it, because let's just say, hypothetically, there's two different groups of complete opposite people who don't know each other, and they mingle. One of the first senses is to chit chat and then make jokes. If you find someone's jokes funny, you'll kind of naturally mingle towards them. And if you have the same sense of humor, which is one of the first things that you pick up on, you find little things funny about each other, like you'll just naturally get along. So that's one of the most basic senses that will pull people together, a sense of humor, because you can find funny scenarios out of anything and joke about things because it's not that serious at its foundation.
That's actually one of the top 3 behaviors that you find in your friends, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And there's definitely scenarios where sense of humors are like the only thing that bonds you together. You find shit funny together, but you don't agree about anything else. But you will always, in an awkward situation, if you two find each other again, let's say you don't get along at all, but you find that same person who finds shit funny, you will immediately go to that person. Guaranteed. Because you find comfort. You find comfort in the shared emotion of your behavior, of like your humor. Like you find shit funny. So it's almost like a safety net.
Yeah.
So why tear that shit apart and just dissect it to the point where you want to take that away and be like, okay, so I find it offensive, so you can't find it funny. Fuck that. I still think it's funny.
Yeah. If you find it funny, you're a piece of shit.
We're
It's
pieces
really
of shit
fucked up.
together.
Yeah.
Which is fucked up if you think about it. Like, people can dictate so much. And, like, I thought it was terrible when people were, like, looking at Kevin Hart's old tweets from, like, 15 years ago, tearing him down. And I was like, wait, what? You can't tear someone down. I was like, who hasn't said stupid shit 15 years ago? Or, you know, their views hasn't changed. Or maybe they were, you know, not brought to the surface. How can you judge someone? And that's what I don't understand one single bit is how you can tear down comedy and have it. You can say, oh, well, this is right, this is wrong. Like, first of all, who are you? And why are you the one to dictate what's wrong and what's right? And also, if you're that judgy on someone else, I don't see any of these fucking mobs or any of these other people showing what they did or what they said 15 years ago, what their thoughts were. You can't tell me that they were perfect. And that's another thing that bugs me. Is like, people get so offended when there's no cameras on and they're just joking around with their buddies or their friends or their family or their online buddies or whoever the fuck. You can't tell me that they've never said a racist joke or, you know, laughed at something that was along those lines. You can't tell me that they've never laughed at it or made a joke about it or thought about it, because you're full of shit. Everybody likes comedy, and if they think something's funny, whether they're stereotypes or anything, they're going to laugh about it because that shit is comedy.
You see every year in like the NFL draft, somebody will drop down in the rankings because somebody found a tweet that they laughed at 13 years ago or when they were 13 years old. And that just like that changes all these teams' perspective on them. Like, do we want to draft them first round? Do we want that kind of person on our team? And that's fucked up to do to somebody who, like, they were 13 years old when they laughed at this joke that other people might find offensive now.
The shitty thing is that they probably 90% of them making that decision don't believe that themselves. It just comes down to business at that point, and it sucks that is turned into that.
Yeah.
It's because they know, you know, if it wasn't the way it is now, that instant automatic, oh, we need that person on our team. We need that talent. We need this. But let's look at his background. And the background is bullshit background. It's what is going to negatively impact, you know, our
ratings
selection. Yeah, just all that dumb shit. When they don't even believe themselves because they're old school. I mean, they're the older generation that didn't grow up with that shit.
Yeah.
But
look at John Gruden, you know?
Yeah. But you see, and they're labeled as an organization, and they have to carry that brand, which is their mentality the entire way, because they can't have that negatively impact our organization or our team or whatever. But fucking nobody believes that. Like, certainly not the people making those decisions believe that. They just have to fucking cover their ass, unfortunately, because of the way shit is going.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like, you're fucking, yeah, you're so soft, everybody.
I know.
Everybody out there is fucking
Yeah.
soft. I'm sick and tired of it. It's disgusting. It's driving me nuts.
Dude.
And I'm just gonna drink another beer.
I know. It's disgusting, bro. Drives to drink. Also, on that note, when we blow up and people dig back 5, 10 years from now, and we're
We'll probably
big,
get canceled.
you know, I don't know. We'll be fine. But when they try to dig up some shit, listen, we're going to bat. That's the thing. We're not going to be like, oh, Timbo, we actually dug up some dirt on you, and, the crowd, they think you got to go otherwise. No, we're fucking going to bat. We're going to war with these fucking clowns. Because I get so sick and tired of this shit. Like, all I think is if some organization stood up and be like, hey, quit being so goddamn soft. Quit it. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to wherever. And we have their back. If they just set the tone for that, and then they were like, whoa, can he say that? Can you say that? Can you really say that? And then they went to the playoffs and then they fucking did what they said. No one would spout one word about it, is the thing. Because they would actually probably be like, well, actually, I'm actually really proud of them for standing up for what they believe in. Like, I just think people are so scared to face the mob. But if they face the mob, they'd probably be fine. Like, for me, I'm like, bring it on, motherfuckers. What do you got? I'm an open book. Come at me. What do you got? Because you ain't going to say nothing to me that I haven't already heard or haven't already said to myself. So, bring it.
See, and you're only 32, and you're already seeing this transition. Like, imagine your kid being 32. Like, we're at such a crossroad in the way that everything's gonna go, because I mean it's even been in the past, let's say 10 years. I mean, just think of 10 years ago to now, like how different that particular part has gone. Like the softness, like everyone's offended, and when you first started hearing it, you're just like, fuck, like what is going on here? And then now it's almost like they are gaining the upper hand. And because I mean, nothing pisses me off more than when I see all these fucking little cop videos of just like, oh, I'm just I'm protecting my First Amendment, and they're just almost harassing the fucking police. Like,
Yeah.
I get some of them to a point, because I do believe there are, your old fucking terrible policemen who are just, abusing their power. I don't doubt that happens.
Oh yeah, they're out there, 100%.
I mean, the numbers
90%.
Yeah, and I think 90% of that 90% who you see on those videos and those TikToks and all the bullshit they have done probably great things, and they've done situations and scenarios and had to put up with so much bullshit before you ever stuff that camera in their face and accuse them of shit. And they're like, you don't even know their story. You just immediately do the same goddamn thing that you're fighting against. You are categorizing it and saying that they all do this. They all do this. When that's apparently what you're fighting for.
Yeah.
All you guys do this against
Bullshit.
all of our guys. It's like, you don't even know. Like you're fight. It's essentially like you're fighting. Let's just put racism just to make it simpler terms. You're fighting racism with racism.
Right?
So
you're fighting to be right.
Yeah, like that's all that it comes down to. So and what's the end game? Like, does it take someone to be like, when are you gonna stop? I'm right. That's what you need. You're right. And there's plenty of videos where they're completely respectful and saying all the right things and giving you your freedom, letting you know that you can video me all this, and they just chip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
Mr. Badge number.
Yeah.
Mr.
And
Badge
okay.
number.
Yeah.
Call your
Oh.
supervisor.
Yeah, they tell you. They're like,
I
hey,
don't
I'm
feel
just
safe.
detaining you. You're not under arrest. I'm just detaining you. And they're like, oh, well, I may just get out my phone.
Well,
Also,
according to ordinance, blah 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 blah.
yeah,
You,
they
it's like, yeah, I understand that. Like, you're fucking.
yeah, you have
you're,
that right,
You're taking those people away. Like, it drives me.
bro. You know how many videos that they don't show? They don't show these videos, but do you know how many videos that I've seen of like people being like, "Oh, hey, my wife's choking to death. Officer, come in here." And then the dude pulls out a gun and fucking shoots the motherfucker coming to help them because he's like, "Fuck the police," is what he says. As I'm like, that's your answer? Like, yeah, I get it. The police need more training. They need a lot more money because nobody wants to go and get shot and put up with the bullshit for like $50,000 a year. It's fucking garbage. You need to pay these motherfuckers like 200 grand, 300 grand, so you actually get some good quality people.
Especially now, because that's the definition of what that particular person in the setup was going against. Like,
yeah. Do you think you want to die for 50 grand a year? Are you kidding me? Like no wonder they do some shit.
And you know, the fucking, let's just say the one time I had to go in and rescue a situation and had to do something that affects me mentally. I had to watch a scenario go down, and I had, knowing that I couldn't help, I had to deal with that. And then I maybe had to deal with another thing and another thing. But then you just blanket statement, categorize, and put it in that scenario, and then decide to do that. Like, you are no better than what you are supposedly fighting for or making a point for. Like,
yeah,
that just drives me nuts. Like, that person probably had to go through a hell of a lot more than you did, and if not, so be it. He was willing to.
Yeah,
that's why he fucking did it.
Yeah, I don't. I know we touched on this a little bit last time, P, but it still drives me fucking insane about this shit. Like, if I guess what bugs me the most is, so where we're at. Well, you know, we like jokes. Well, you know, we actually have a, you know, we're not just like, hey, we're all fucking white boys. You know, we got.
I'm a bit red myself, but we won't
go
into that.
I got a little Hispanic on me.
You know, we're all from different places. There's not one time where I'm like, yep, my Indian buddy. Hey, not one time where I even think that. I'm like, nah, this is my boy Pete. Every time, you know, Timbo. That doesn't even cross my mind. And the world's so fucked up that you look across the room and you're like, look at that dude. Asian, buddy. Or, you know, look at that black dude. Like, to me, I don't know. I just think that's where we get in the wrong place so many times, where we're just not, like, open, where we're not just like, oh, see that dude with some curly hair or whatever, or, you know, whatever the case. Like, okay, yeah, maybe it might be easier just to put his skin color, but if we're so adamant on putting racism aside, then we can't talk about it. We can't discuss it every day. You know, just like you can't, if you're on a diet, don't put fucking Twinkies in your fucking pantry. Otherwise, you're going to be tempted to talk about it and eat it. So, you know, and also, like, people are so quick to judge on police and all this shit. And I know a lot of it's the media, but a lot of those motherfuckers are good dudes. And they're there to help protect you. You think you're high and mighty? Why do you still call them? Why do you, I'm in trouble. Oh, the police are the worst. But yet, when somebody breaks in your house, I don't have any guns. I was just at a Second Amendment protest. I don't have any guns. Let me call up the police. Oh, so they can come with guns to help protect you? You stupid fucks.
Yeah.
You know, like, grow the fuck up. You're just outsourcing somebody else to bring guns to you, to protect you. But you're so against the Second Amendment, you want to call people out. You just outsource it. Business term. But
That's what's annoying is that somebody has sworn a duty to do something for you, for the public, a public service, and you immediately brand them a certain type of way because of influences, maybe even personal experiences. So be it. But you literally brand them the same way that you feel like they branded you. So what are you doing that is bettering anybody? Like, it's just circling the hatred that you feel like you have. Like, if you have general hatred to, let's just say you had 5 encounters with cops, and all 5 times they did you dirty or whatever.
probably
That's just the way. Yeah, that's a completely probably unrealistic scenario.
1%.
Yeah, but then let's flip the script. I mean, to get controversial, and I'm going there. So keep her tuned.
Go ahead. I fucking love it.
So let's say you have that mentality, you have that racist mentality, and you come across 5 people of a different race, and you've had the same encounter with all 5 of them. And then the 6th person you run into is the nicest person in the world, minding their own business, and you just give them a hard time just because of what you've experienced. The next person next to you could have had 5 experiences that were great, and then that 6th person they run into could have been terrible, and that could have been the end all. That's the difference. We're all fucking different people. We're all individuals, first and foremost. So the idea of just categorizing people is almost the same as just like people picking favorite teams. Like, we're all united because we're all Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Well, fuck you because I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. Like, that's causing an immediate divide.
Yeah.
So you are just naturally going to group towards one person or the other.
Yeah, it's a modern day stereotype.
Yeah, and it's bullshit because you completely look past the individualism, and mind you yourself is an individual. So think for your goddamn self for a second. Start there.
True.
And not fucking just fall into peer pressure or bullshit or you on my side, you on their side. Like, just, I mean, if you fucking just, if you fall for saying what you believe in, then good for you. That is the best way to go out. If you go down fighting for something you don't believe in, then what the fuck were you even doing? You're a coward.
Fuck yeah, bro. If one of my favorite quotes, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite quotes, and you know, along this side, we guess to tie everything together is just like police or comedians or whatever. Like, everyone's looking to cancel them, or you know, put a bad name on them, or shun them, or this, that, or deduct their pay and whatever. Yeah, you guys say this until you need them. Until you need a comedian like, I haven't laughed in so long. Oh, I heard him. That's refreshing. Or, you know, somebody broke in my house. 911. Hello, operator.
Oh,
Then what?
What if
Then
they
what?
hung up on you?
Yeah, like, oh wait, you were at that fucking rally, weren't you? Beep, click.
Done. Figure it out yourself.
Yeah, what if they said that shit? Yeah, maybe complain then, but you're over here like, oh, let's take away all the guns and let's, you know, defund the police. You fucking morons. Who's gonna protect you? The answer is never to take away shit. The answer is to, I don't agree, bug. But the answer is never to take away guns, or to take away police, or to take away people who are there to help you. The answer is to give them more ammunition, more skills, more training. Because when you take it away, there's less there, and then there's still the same amount of fucking criminals and same amount of stupid fucks. But if you have more people who are skilled and who are trained, they can help combat that. But when you have bad eggs who don't get paid enough, who put themselves in bad situations, or who are put in bad situations, who get paid 50 grand a year, we're like, no, this ain't fucking worth it.
You got enough bad eggs, you got a bad chicken.
Yeah, bad batch.
I just made that up, but
That's a good one, huh?
That's not bad.
You know,
Not
right?
bad.
Like, but for real, I mean, if you're like, okay, well, we have this many bad cops, and some are good, some are bad. Okay, well, why are they bad? Do you just look at why people do shit, or do you just look at, the problem, they're the fucking worst? Or do you look at why? Maybe they're underpaid. Maybe they're in a bad neighborhood. Maybe they're in a shitty situation all the time and they don't want to do it. And maybe they're angry because they get put in bad situations. Or maybe, people give them shit all the time and cause problems or lie to their fucking face every time. No, officer, I don't have any fucking drugs. No, I don't have any weapons on me. And then they fucking get shot at or they have drugs on them. Like, think of how many times they get lied to. And think if that plays anything on your psyche. If you're like, oh, well, the last 1,000,000 times I'm in the situation, they've lied to me. Why would this be any different? Like, and then most of you motherfuckers out there who are like, well, actually, I've been in 2 situations where cops were shitheads to me. Well, imagine fucking 300 shitheads being shitty to you out of 350 and lying straight to your face.
Think of 300 scenarios that it could have been your last fucking scenario. That's the position that we're putting them in, that they're having to be on edge for. So
for 50 grand or 60 grand or whatever.
Yeah, it's just because it's something they believe in. It's a public service, and they maybe, stepped into it early on, and now times have changed. And the way they did things now to how it was back then, way different. And then imagine people now deciding to go into that field. Like, those
it's gonna be worse.
Those are the people that I fucking applaud, is because they're still believing in a public service and they are immediately hated, which sounds very similar to hating somebody on their what have you, their race, anything. You are immediately categorizing somebody into a field that you don't like because they wear a badge or they do this. It's just so obvious, but yet so baffling that it is a situation right now.
Bro.
And you're fighting fire with fire. Like, it's not.
It's so
You gotta put it out.
So frustrating. Let me just hit you guys with this shit real quick. Okay.
All right, shit on me.
Just imagine this. Imagine how much safer our country would be if we had so much better training. Police went, and had like more like special ops training, or like, maybe not quite Navy SEALs, but some good shit. So they weren't intimidated or scared when they went into situations. They knew how to handle it. They didn't fire shots because they were nervous. Imagine that. And then imagine taking back the $100 billion we gave Ukraine and giving it to the police force to train those fucks. Not fucks, sorry. Love you guys. But to train those guys and give them $100 billion, and imagine their salaries going up to where they should be paid. Imagine every cop out there getting paid 150 grand, 200 grand, whatever they fucking deserve, because they put their life on the line all the time. They probably deserve it, and they deserve the training. When we're just over here giving it out willy-nilly, we're over here like, you guys need some money over here. Did you know they gave $70 billion to the White House fund for babysitting?
Well,
70 billion. The
he needs
Build
a
Back
billion.
Better plan, Biden, you stupid fuck. Build Back Better, 70 billion to the White House for babysitting. That's quite a bit of money. And then we give Ukraine. Oh, they need a lot of weapons. They're in a war.
Oh,
But
hold
we're not
up, hold up.
involved. We're not
Don't go snowballing away.
We're 80 billion. Or we gave them 20 billion. Now we give them 80 billion.
You're going down different.
I know. We're going on a snowball. I was about to get into the
I was gonna
function
say,
research labs they have in Ukraine, but we won't go down that alley quite yet, folks. Keep her tuned on that one if you want to know. Hit us up.
I'm saying the mentality. So a lot of, terrible things that have happened. A lot of it has been led back to like bullying, right? Bullying is a big topic, and everyone takes it seriously. So, with that being said, the way times are shifting, and like I want to preface and just say, first off, there are bad seeds, and there are bad situations and bad people in any scenario. Law enforcement, for sure. Absolutely. There's people's lives have been ruined by bad cops, what have you. I don't want to discount and discredit any of that. But you get the good side of it, who stand for what they believe in and stand for what the badge says and their promise to serve and protect. And people will blindly just, turn that away. And when, just imagine, you went to work every single day. Every time you came home, everyone just booed you, were so mad at you, and just called you disgusting. And you had to go do shit that none of those people that were booing you and calling you names would want to do. Like, how would that not mentally affect you? And in turn, you are going to potentially cause that to be the bullying situation.
Yeah, that's a kind of treatment that, I don't know, that me personally, I would want, I'd probably go into that wanting to defend everybody and protect everybody. But if I'm getting treated like shit all the time, why would I want to defend that?
Be tough.
Mm-hmm. For all you know, you fucking saved one of those people's family members' lives, or someone that directly impacted them. You could have pulled them out of a car wreck and done everything you could, or they could have died, and they could have died in your arms. They could have died on scene, and you had to sit there and watch and couldn't help them. And then next thing you know, you are getting fucking yelled at, booed at by that same person's family members that you tried to help, and you did everything you could to help. And it's like, that's where the bullshit comes in, that you don't fucking know. All you hear is social media, and all you hear is like maybe personal situations.
Yeah. You hear someone else's opinion. You
clump it all together into all of them. All these people are this way. And you forget about the fucking person that just went and sacrificed their day, put their safety on the line, went and risked their lives. And, for what? For someone to not appreciate them? For somebody to fucking not only not appreciate them, but to treat them like shit and brand them as a fucking pig, as a fucking somebody who's just, a lot of them get just instantly branded, oh, well, you're just racist. It's like, you don't even know
morally
me.
just.
Yeah, that's fucked up to just categorize them all that way. I know there are some that are out there that are just racist fucks and treat people poorly just because of who they are. But there are the good ones out there. There's the ones that run into the burning building. I know that's mostly firefighters who do that, but you got some heroic police officers that'll run in there and do the same shit. Save a life, pull somebody out of a burning vehicle, and they still get viewed as the other guy, the guy that put his fucking knee on George Floyd's neck. Obviously those people are pieces of shit, but there's the good people out there too, and to get categorized in that when you're a straight edge, by the books,
It's
good person.
the fact that the scales are tipping so much towards the negative that pisses me off, because that is
Nobody tips the scales in their negative.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you see the negatives on social media nowadays. Like there was I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was the like pizza delivery guy who ran into the burning building and saved like 5 kids. That was heroic.
Mm-hmm.
And it was. I'm not
Probably
trying to
barely made the
discredit him.
local
Like,
news.
yeah, he was just like, that was amazing. He fucking saved all those kids' lives. But you probably wouldn't hear that if it was just a police officer doing his job. You don't hear the good stuff on social media for them. You just hear the negatives. You see the
Toxic.
assholes that
The thing is
arrest
that
a guy for playing his music too loud or whatever.
I applaud, because I come across every now and then of like good videos like that of police officers, and it's just such a weird thing that it went from naturally thinking, police are protecting to serve, and then it turned into bad eggs. Of course, they come out, but that's same thing as like clumping a group together. I mean, you had statistically all across the board. Yes, I understand that they abuse power because it's almost just like a control thing, what have you. They're above the law. I get that. And so naturally, there's going to probably be more than your average. Makes sense, because they enforce the law. They don't make the law. And
Yep.
some of them let it get to their heads naturally. I mean, I understand that. But to bring it back to a point of where it's just like full branded thing, is like we're regressing so much.
We are. I mean, what happened to letting people do what they want? And, some people might get offended at this. I don't really care. But, back when we were, growing up a little bit, there was a lot of drag queens. And nobody cared. They didn't make a big deal. They did their own thing. Nobody said a word. Nobody cared. Everyone was cool with it. Oh, you do your own thing? Cool. You want to do your thing. You want to dress up a drag at night or whenever you want. Nobody cared. But then along came the mom. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Imagine, buddy. Imagine dragging.
I had to just toss it in.
I know. But, then came the angry mob. And now there's, LGBTQATZ. Who knows?
LMNOP.
Yeah, a lot of letters, and continuing. But listen, just the point I'm trying to make about it is like everyone's ruffling their feathers and trying to make a big thing. Like, oh, I want to be heard. I want to be heard. I want to be heard. Like, if you want to be heard so bad and you want this to be heard, you have to listen. And if you can't,
all sides.
Yeah, you have to fucking listen. You can't just say, oh, mine's right and I say everything and I'm going to cancel you and I'm going to do and I'm going to tear you down. And if you don't like it, well, too bad. And blah, blah, fucking blah. Well, guess what? Your categories in everyone. What if everyone categories you guys as, oh, well, you guys are all the same. The old alphabet gang. You guys are, all of you guys are the same. Like, how would you feel?
All right, you want to hear a crazy? I mean, my family already is crazy, but I got one that's going to take the cake. So, growing up, I had an aunt who was a bailiff in a courtroom, and she's a lesbian.
Nice.
Boom. Aunt Lori, a lesbian bailiff,
Nice.
and she didn't take dick from nobody.
Oh, naturally, buddy. That's a good
I'll tell you
joke.
what.
Yeah.
The end part was just for punchline, but that's a true story.
Don't get offended, people.
Don't get offended.
It's not a dick.
But-
Don't take it so hard like Aunt Laura.
Not one
Never
dick,
take it.
and that's why she's the best in the biz.
Right?
She didn't
Oh,
take dick from
right.
nobody.
Right. And that is how you bring it full circle. Fucking here,
yeah.
so I'll do it. But I mean,
Get offended if you want, but
yeah. See, in the end of the day, I mean, maybe you got your angry mob, maybe you got your backup squad or whatever. It'll have your back or a hype squad. But at the end of the day, trying to take someone down, all that does is hurt yourself. Like, all you're doing is bringing in negativity to your life. You're not doing anything yourself. You're just taking people down, which isn't in fact doing anything. So that tells me that you have no dreams, no goals, no anything in life. Your one goal in life is to take down someone that is making something for themselves, probably busted ass their entire life, said some stupid shit, and you're going to try to tear them down for something they did or said or a mistake that they made, or they got nervous or scared because they're in a situation with guns or drugs or people or whatever, and they make one mistake and they're labeled, or they're just even a part of something and they're labeled. And I just sit back and I'm like, how the fuck did we get to this place? And how the fuck are we going to fix this? Besides looking in the mirror and being like, hey, I'm just like you. I make mistakes too. I'm not perfect. I've failed a million times in my life. True story.
imagine if you're judged by those moments rather than your character.
Yeah.
That's what drives me nuts.
Yeah. Imagine if everyone was just like, hey, one bad thing in your life, you're labeled for that forever and you can never get away from it. Imagine each one of you guys out there listening. Imagine that your worst moment in your life, that you're just judged by that forever. And that's what you're stained with, you're branded with, you're tattooed with. That's what everyone knows you now. And you can never grow or get past that. Like, imagine how fucked your life would be. And then go back to that same moment and look at how you failed so hard and how it made you into the person you are today and how much you've grown and how big leaps and bounds you are better than you were when you were younger, and you're not the same person as you were before. And then maybe look at society and be like, well, man, maybe maybe I should not be so judgmental on everyone. Maybe I should, figure out what they're going through and figure out what they've been through and maybe hear their side of the story, because I guarantee you every single goddamn person on this earth, I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Indian, gay, straight, whatever, it doesn't even matter. I guarantee you that every single person shares so much in common, or failures, or different aspects of life. I mean, divorce is 50%. There's probably a lot of people can relate to that. Just look at all the aspects of life and see how much you relate. And then you could be like, well, fuck, because we're all human.
I've had huge pivotal moments in my life that people have forgiven my my little situation that I've been through, because they know my character and have forgiven me and stuck by me and understood me, because they gave me a chance to, because they knew who I was. And that's a cumulative. I mean, that's throughout my whole life. So knowing that one instance, they're like, oh, no, something must be wrong, or having an off day or something. And now here I am today, a much better person because of that, rather than I'd be a worse person if everybody turned their back on me and judged me off of this one moment. And basically my resume as a human being was shoved aside because of my one little fault. I would have let myself fold and I would have believed that shit because I was vulnerable to it at the time. And I know it. And I have a lot of people to thank for the person I am today, for sticking by my side, for my character, because that's who I am.
Yes.
In that moment, my downfall didn't define me. And I would have let it if everyone else that was in my life chose to believe that. So don't fucking tear people down, man. Like,
Don't be so quick to judge.
you're good people.
Imagine if you were in the public eye when you made some of those mistakes and just
I'd have been tore down.
yeah, all these celebrities that try to
Look
make
at
amends,
Bieber.
but yeah, Bieber, Aziz Ansari.
Yeah.
I might be picking some bad ones, but like
No, Bieber grew up
Timbo.
as a fucking
Yeah.
kid. Beautiful voice. He had to grow up in the spotlight. He had no chance to fail, and he made a few failures that they weren't even that bad, and he got tore apart.
yeah,
For what?
seems like a decent person now, but everyone still remembers all the stupid shit he did as a kid, as
As a kid.
15-year-old kid.
Keyword.
If I got
kid.
judged on the shit I did when I was 14 or 15 or younger,
Yeah.
god
How many
damn.
houses I TP'd and porches I peed on, and
Hey, don't bring up TPs, buddy.
well, that's toilet paper, buddy. You know what stupid shit you do that the trick. I was just a kid, but then yet every single person is over here like, Justin Bieber, you believe that? Well, if your whole life was a glass house, imagine like all the pressure all the time and how much of a mental state that would weigh down on you every single day. And then look at your own life and be like, well, no one actually ever looked at me or cared about me or,
Maybe that's why you're lashing out. So be it.
yeah, like just give people a goddamn fucking break and just let them fucking live and learn, because I know so many great people in my life who, and me included, that weren't such great people all the time, or made mistakes or a lot of mistakes, or they just were, doing their thing, living it up, finding their own way, lost. I know I was lost for years. Like, I was lost. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing or where I was going or what I had to do or what I needed to do. I was just living, trying to figure it out. And my stupid mistakes I made, and if I was judged off those mistakes every single day, and yeah, maybe people listening or whatever, you'd be like, oh, well, you had it easy, Brad, or you did this or that, or you don't understand what I'm going through. No, I probably do. You just probably can't tell by the person I am today, but I wouldn't be here without making all the mistakes that I fucking made before.
Or the idea of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Like,
imagine my family
forgiveness is
shunned
a
me,
big
or
thing.
my
Yeah,
friends
exactly.
shunned me.
I'm right there with you, buddy. Like, that would be a different world, and it would be a confusing world because you know your character and you know who you are individually. So without forgiveness and understanding, then you're just stuck at your individual at the moment situations, and that's what you have to deal with. And you're judging me based on this particular moment in time and just riding with it, acting like I never grew from it, and just saying like, oh, that's how you were and that's how you're always going to be. It's like, no, fuck that. You know who I was 15 years ago? I would have fucking yelled at myself now.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. How many chest pokes he would have gotten?
Oh, you kidding me?
Yeah,
I'd have a fractured finger.
yeah.
I'd have chest poked so hard. Like, if I could have talked sense, but that's a part of growth.
It also makes you who you are.
Exactly. Like, you have to go through those scenarios yourself to understand the lesson. You can be told it, but you can't fully understand it. And until you do, when you learn a lesson and you understand, no matter how hard it is, you know that you learned a lesson because there's no question.
Yeah.
You're cutting out yourself. But you know that lesson. Like that.
Yeah.
God damn it. All right.
You know you're good.
All right, I learned my lesson. I'm gonna find a different chord.
No, you're good. Yeah. I got you, bro. You know, listen, if you never made the mistake, you would have never learned that lesson. And if you never learned that lesson, it wouldn't made you who you are. And you you'd either be naive or you would have had to see someone else go through it or read some books or whatever to even learn what that lesson was even about. So the wisest people probably made the most mistakes.
That's why your grandparents are so smart.
They've been fucking up way longer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they've learned their lesson, and they didn't even have the internet to learn the lessons at www.anything. They had to learn from fucking life experiences.
We didn't even have that, honestly. Like, there's so many things I look back on my life where I'm like, God damn, that was fucked up what I did.
Wow.
What a night, though.
What a night. We're also 30, you know.
I shouldn't be doing that. Probably shouldn't be
porch,
doing that.
man. Jesus.
That kind of made me feel bad afterwards. That porch. I haven't shit on a porch since.
Timbo,
92.
imagine if that's who you were today. Imagine if that was your label and that was the only thing that people would know you for. If you're on CNN News, Timbo today, he's the porch shitter.
Local influencers got shitting on a porch again. He can't seem to stop himself.
Yeah, like imagine if that was your one and only label, and you can. I mean, that's shitty, pun intended.
Oh man, that a boy, Brad. Well done, sir.
But that's the way the world is, and I hope, fellas, I really, really hope that doing this shit and talking about what we talk and just making sense and doing what we do. I really hope that we get into people's ears.
Just try and be more accepting of people's flaws. If you shit on a porch when you're 7 years old, don't judge me for it when I'm 35 years old.
Yeah, you're just flying by the seat of your pants. Not a big deal.
Oh goodness gracious.
No pants.
And I just hope that people listening, if you just, even if you think even if you agree with us or you don't or whatever, like, just don't be so closed off to new things or new ways of thinking or any of that. Just be like, hey, well, even if you don't agree, maybe like, well, maybe they make a good point. Maybe I'll look into it, or maybe I'll think about what they said, ponder on it, be like, well, okay. We don't have to sway your opinions or change everything, but I really hope that we, maybe not change the world, but change a lot of shit. Or change at least, I don't know, some people.
Even one. You can change one person's opinion.
Even one.
If he can influence you and make you think a little differently and make you think better about yourself, that's all we're asking for.
Yeah, that's all we do. We build people up, motivation, and sometimes we yell at stupid people. But, like, for people tearing people down and this other way of thinking, I hope that there's some people out there who we just change just a little bit, who are like, well, maybe I am being too harsh on people. Maybe I'm not thinking this right. Maybe I need to think more about it. Maybe I need to do a little more research. Because that's maybe not the main emphasis of what we got going on, but it's a big part of just, that's why I'll bring back, the Second Amendment talk with Bug. Like, I'll throw facts. He's like, oh, I wasn't prepared. Okay, well, I kept throwing facts at him because I was like, I hope that he goes and researches some stuff.
He did.
Yeah, he did. And I love that. That was one of my favorite things. And if somebody stumps me with some stuff, better believe it. Be like, Jesus, let me check that out. I'm going to look at it. And if we can throw some stuff around and make other people not even change your opinion, but just think for yourself, or even do some research and think of it that way. Like, imagine how much of the world would change if they listened to this and they just did their own research and looked in and didn't be like, oh, well, CNN says or Fox says. Well, why don't you look at some other sources and some studies or university studies on some stuff? Like, there's so many good websites out there, like .orgs and shit, that put out some pretty good information.
The funny thing is, like, everyone listen here, like, you may think you have a good idea of who we are exactly, and that's fine, but I guarantee if you come at me with a life scenario, that I've had a pretty interesting life from where I am now to when I was born. And I may be able to relate to you in some aspect. Just because you don't think you can, try me. Like, we'll see. And if I can't, I'll listen. But if I can relate directly to exactly what you've been through, then
Wedgie.
hey.
Boom, wedgie.
No wedgie, man.
Yeah. What's funny, bro, is sorry to interrupt. I don't think people really know that we're gamers. We love gaming.
Love gaming. That's what we're about to do. How about that?
Yeah. People might think that we're this, that, or we just love talking or hitting up these issues, or we're just motivational people, or just, talking about societal issues, whatever. No, we love to fucking game. We love it. It's one of our biggest passions.
Number one hobby.
And, we also, love people, and we love helping people. Otherwise, we wouldn't do this shit. Because, for one, we pay money to talk to you motherfuckers. That's one. So you're welcome. And, I don't know, maybe we'll throw some t-shirts. Maybe we'll get something, but we're here to fucking change some shit. And we talk about all these issues to, not just to bitch or vent or anything, but we talk about it so we could bring up different points and to make everyone think a little different or look at it a different way. Or maybe you agree. Maybe you have, your views were just perfectly aligned, which is hard with four of us. But odds are you probably align with one of us. Maybe not 100%, but 50-50.
That's the point, though. Just pick apart what you agree on, what you don't. And everyone's different. It's okay. You can agree with this person, this person, this person. That doesn't mean you have to stand with this person or with this person or with this person. Like,
oh.
You're your own goddamn person. So just understand that you are just fine the way you are. And it doesn't mean that you have to agree fully, even if it's like your parents or your friends. Like that's not you. You're your own goddamn person. If you don't care about this, then don't care about that. If you fully care about this, then you know what? Care about it. Go for it.
Yeah.
You might not like the same game that I like. That's why I fucking
spank your ass.
Me, Brad, and Timbo don't play the same games because Timbo's just stuck on Modern Warfare, and it's the worst game ever.
And there's hackers everywhere, and we dominated it. Madden and FIFA.
Yeah, they hacking, but
see, we're terrible.
Better than the hackers.
I don't know.
Or you have to suck so bad that you play against the shitty people.
All right, gaming community is different. Modern Warfare people.
Yeah, they're double.
The double.
But, on a real note,
you guys canceling the Modern Warfare culture.
Yeah, well, I might need it. Might need it. That's we'll accept that. But On a real note, before we sign off, folks, it doesn't matter. You can agree with me and P and Timbo and in the same episode. And you can also agree with Joe Rogan and whoever else you listen to. That's one of my favorite things is picking different quotes from different people. I love listening to quotes from Eric Thomas or Jordan Peterson. There's plenty of motivational speaker. Jocko Willink is, one of my favorites. There's a lot of different people who are good and they say good shit. Doesn't mean I agree with everything. I listen to what's the comedian's name? You know what I'm talking about. Not
Bill Burr?
yeah, well, he's one of them, but the other one. Mike Tyson, hey champ. What's his name?
Oh my god, Tom Segura.
Tom Segura, thank you.
He's
Sup,
solid
champ?
though.
Sup, champ? Yeah, I don't agree with what everybody says. I don't agree with everything Joe Rogan says or Tom Segura. Like, I don't laugh at every one of his jokes, but he says good shit, right?
What's up, champ?
What's up, champ? Yeah.
Tom.
Hey, Tom. But my point is you can pick out different shit. You're your own person and you're going to agree with different shit and not agree with other shit. And maybe it bugs you what somebody says. Okay, well, it doesn't mean you need to hate them or quit listening to them. Like, you liked the majority of the shit they said, they're probably saying some good shit. Or, you might need to take what they say as a joke or not so serious. Because sometimes people spout off shit and they're like, exaggerate or say shit to make a point. And, I guess moral of the story is quit fucking judging so many goddamn people and thinking that you're better than them because you're not. We all go through problems. We all have struggles, trials, tribulations. We all go through fucked up shit in life. And guess what? At the end of the day, it comes down to the person who's willing to get back up every single day and go to war with themselves every single day. That's what it fucking boils down to. So if we think you're better than somebody, it just means that maybe you're on a higher level than them at that point in time. Doesn't mean they won't pass you or that you're better than them. No, it maybe means you need to look back and lend a hand at them. Like, hey, dude, I've been through some shit. Here's a fucking cheat code. Here's a rope. Why don't you fucking lend a hand rather than fucking looking down upon them, you fucking glass house?
How many times in an argument with your significant other do you backtrack and just be like, fuck, I shouldn't have said that? Or even the next day, you're like, I shouldn't have said that. I mean, That's where the little single moment is separated from your character, because your character the next day understands that you said something that you shouldn't have and you apologize for it. In that individual moment, if that was clipped and that was forever and that's who you are, and you had 10 million people judging you on that moment, you would be a piece of shit. Even though in that moment you were so heated and you knew that maybe that was the wrong thing to say.
Yeah.
But you said it. You can't take it back. You can seek forgiveness, and if you're lucky, you could find someone that will understand that you didn't actually mean it, and they understand that. But some people don't have that, and then they get torn down and apart for it, and just get immediately judged for it. That's what's bullshit, is because that shit actually exists. That's why people tiptoe, especially like influencers, social media platforms, they tiptoe around that shit because they don't want to get torn down that way. And it's fucking just soft.
Yep.
Hey,
Tom. I truly believe this, and I'm gonna start bringing you guys into this. But take Andrew Tate Timbo's gonna look him up, soon. But saying what's real. I think there's so many people out there who would agree with you and not try to shut you down or cancel you. Just say some real shit and just say it bluntly and not try to tiptoe and anything. I guarantee you would get more views and likes and have more followers and fans than you being like, well, this is what I believe. But if you're like, hey, dude, this is what it is. This is what I stand for. This is what I believe in. And you fucking actually truly stand for it and you believe in it. I guarantee people will have your back and stand with you more than people being like, well, I believe in this, but I also kind of believe in this. And
backtrack.
also, I love everyone and I don't want to offend any single person. And,
The one thing I stand for is Timbo's deltoid. Let me see him again. One more time.
Timbo just flexing. For those that
Timbo!
you can't see, we're going to start posting on YouTube soon, but Timbo's just flexing, making us look bad.
Yeah.
He's wearing a
I know.
fucking
Fucking
Flash
so-
Gordon tee.
Oh
my
fucking
God.
podcast.
All right, Timbo.
I mean,
You
go ahead, Timbo. You
sign
got the magnet
us
on.
off, Timbo. You give us maybe a statement here, sum it up and, sign us off, and then we're going to end her.
Yeah, my statement is just I think everybody needs to be more accepting of everything. I mean, the whole cancel culture, I feel like a lot of that is just people trying to feel accepted and they get offended by something because that goes against their their group, we want to call it. But they're just going against the whole acceptance. Like somebody says something they don't like and they're just going to cancel them.
That's the shit I don't like.
Yeah, what the fuck is that all about? I mean,
Contradiction.
that's just, it's definitely a huge contradiction. And, just because I think something's funny that you don't think is funny, or I said something when I was 12 years old that you find offensive, you just got to remember we're all human beings. That's the biggest thing. We're all humans. We all make mistakes. We all, like you were saying, P, we all realize our flaws, or we realize we said something that was stupid or did something dumb. And we all grow from these stupid things. You just got to be way more accepting than what we are now. We shut people down for saying one damn thing, doing one thing. Back to the beaver, we're talking about spitting on the fans. How old was that kid?
Old enough to know better, apparently.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
So it's so dumb.
I did the same shit. I mean, imagine me being on the roof of my school with all my friends down below. I would have done some dumb shit, throwing eggs on them or, dump water on their head, whatever.
And probably forgot about it too. And then someone brings it up and that's how they remember you. It's like, I don't even remember doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
No.
I'd spit on a heckling fan right now. I'd fucking hawk a big Lug right in their stupid fucking face right now.
Fuck it. Hawk Luigi? Alright, well, anyway. We should just. Ew.
Accept people for who they are, people.
Yeah.
Right?
We're all human beings.
Yeah, for the most accepting or open-minded or whatever our society has supposedly ever been, and we're the most woke culture, we ain't that fucking woke. And we
That's
ain't
what
that
woke is. It's just judgmental.
Yeah, we ain't that fucking open to everyone's shit. We're just woke to our own fucking ignorance.
I mean, there's terrible things that people are woke to. I'm not going to go against them on that, but God damn it, give people a break.
Yeah.
Seriously.
We all fuck up.
Yeah, and
wait, you guys never fucked up? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Never? Not once? Think of your biggest fuck up. All right. There you go. Marinate in that for a second.
Yeah.
And that's who you are.
Yeah.
Nah, that's not who you are. Fuck that bullshit.
Nah,
We all learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, and I might say it a little meaner than these guys, but grow the fuck up. And I say this out of love because I'm fucking tired of it. And, Wake up every goddamn morning and fucking be positive. Put a smile on your face because you woke up. And you can still see, you can still walk, and you still get to go to work. You still get to go make money. You still get to laugh with your friends. You still get to go do all of these great things in life, and you're worried about what someone else is doing who doesn't affect anything. So, you know, grow up, mature a little bit, and go get it in life. All right?
Worry about yourself.
You know, worry about something more important. Worry about your own goals. Worry about what you need to go do. If you quit worrying about someone else and be like, hey, man, maybe I should go and, you know, do that thing that I've been wanting to do for months. And I've been putting off because that's what my goal is in life. Go do that shit instead. On a positive note, go do that shit. Because I love motivating people and I hate fucking little dweebs. But go get it in life. Quit worrying about everybody else.
Way more important shit to be worrying about than what Joe Rogan said or what Dave Chappelle said or what we said.
Yeah.
Go fucking dwell on something important.
Yeah, if you're gonna worry about anything that's worldwide, is worry about what our tax dollars are doing, huh? Why don't you research that?
No, they don't want to. They just want to hear about what Dave Chappelle or Joe Rogan said, man.
Yeah, research what everyone else is doing or what our government or our president or anyone else spends the money on and where all our tax dollars go. You know, research that instead of worrying about one little word that somebody said or blah. So, that is Untamed Entertainment for the night, boys. Good episode. I like it.
Boy.
And,
Cheers.
Cheers. We're signing off. Thanks for listening. If you loved the episode, go ahead and share it. We don't ask for much around here, but go ahead and share it to your buddies. You loved it.